Hey everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Dragonheir Silent Gods. For today's video, we're going to take a look at a very budget-friendly team. I'm going to convert one of my teams that was pretty, OP, if I could find it. There it is. We're gonna actually take out Lysenia, put in Rava, and we're gonna get rid of all these fancy legendary artifacts. And we're gonna run it and see if we can get easily over that 100 mil that most people are hoping for with a very free-to-play friendly setup. But before I get into that, we need to talk about the D&D collaboration event. Starting February 23rd, you can now summon Elminster Umar from the Planner Summoning. He's a new hero of the fire element, the Sage of Shadowdown. Before, we had Dristo Erden, who I absolutely love. This time we also get an exclusive artifact, which is perfect for Elminster, as well as other heroes. There's even a new boss to fight, Samaster. This enemy is going to come with a multi-stage set of battles for even richer content. Really cool graphics for this one as well. There's also some other new monsters like the Dracolich and the Stone Golem. There's also new dice skins. I love the ones from last seasons, and these ones look great as well. They never disappoint with the graphics. There's also the Sage Baggage, which is a special pack you can purchase that gives you an avatar frame. There's new maps, new storylines, and so much to explore. Join the D&D legends in the Dragonheir world. Be sure to download via Android, iOS, Mac, PC, Steam, or Epic Games. And also be sure to use my promo code Dragon0223. Alright, so yeah, this was my team that I used yesterday to get like 197 million. And as you can see, yes, there's exclusive Frost artifact. There is Witch's Remains, and there is the Hourglass. Now, I feel like I should use Witch's Remains because not using Witch's Remains at the end of Season 2, it feels a little silly, so I might do that. I might still use Witches, honestly, because more than likely the majority of players have got one dupe legendary by 2 full seasons. This is the very end of Season 2 content, so it's very possible that that was the case, and if you got that, this is what you should have got. But overall, yeah, it's a really important artifact, so if you get a dupe, even if it's of a really good hero, it's almost worth it no matter who it is, unless it's the exclusive heroes that have special artifacts, unless it's them, to just use it and get this right away, because this is a game changer. So what I'm probably going to do is that. I'm going to, you know what, yeah, we're going to use Witch's Remains, but then we're going to get rid of the other 2 legendary artifacts, and we're going to get rid of Lysenia, and we're going to put in Rava. And we're going to showcase this great team here for the MEKKATORQUE, at least phase 1. Alright, so first up we have Usha. There is her summary of her stats. I have her in Inventor set. To be fair, I do think she'd do better in an Emperor set, but we're going to roll with what we got right now. So that is the main DPS. We're going to have Rava be the secondary DPS, actually, but she's also going to be the Frost... Oh, no, she's not going to be the Frost Applier with that low of accuracy. Buzz. Alright, Usha's not built the best, I would say, but it was really hard to get all the stats. Given my runes, it always is like, you know, a weird mixture of balancing act, for sure. And Usha has my best ones, of course, so she's got everything secondary. We don't have much crit damage on her at all, but I do have pretty high crit rate. I probably should take that down and give her a little more crit damage to compensate. But we wanted the accuracy, and then, yeah, enough defense, but pretty low HP. Hopefully she survives. We also have Voresh, and I am going to leave Voresh in Witch's Remains. It is what it is. It just makes the most sense. I could take off this accuracy one, maybe, and try to give him some more attack, but we're going to leave him at that. So we have decent attack, low crit rate, nothing crazy. He's kind of in like a hybrid build here for damage, and trying to give him a little extra attack so he can help with healing, because Quarion is our only healer. So let's go down to him. Actually, we'll skip to him last. We have Goom Gum, as I call him. He's in the crown, and then he's in Cyril's set. He brings something really special with the fact of, well, a triple hitter on his ultimate is great for the crown or witch's remains, but we have Rava for witches. Luckily, she'll be very reliable, no problems there. And then here we have a attack penalty one and blind. So blind is going to help give us some damage mitigation, and then attack penalty, of course, is going to help with, well, yeah, using it as an actual buff or debuff, but also the stacks for misfire or whatever the hell that's called. Miss something. But I could technically make him be the witch's remains. And then, well, I can't really go more damage on Usha anyway because I want her, or sorry, Rava. I really want her to land the frost, so it makes more sense. She does a lot of hits, so it's a good pairing. And then we had Usha there, we already showed, and our healer is Aquarion. So Aquarion's gonna be here. He's in just some basic survivability and nothing fancy here, except for ancestral protection to help take some heat off of everybody else. And of course, I did switch out the hourglass actually for the incense burner. It's kind of the good comparison for the budget version, lower stats, and it only affects the ultimate, not the battle skill, unfortunately. But yeah, that's kind of what we're working with for Quarion, just survivability, because he's in ancestral protection. So here is our team. We are going to have to adjust it a little bit as far as the timings go. So if we take a look at the timings here, I did have it set to have everyone spaced out. It was a little later than it needs to be because we were accidentally killing the balls too early. But now they fixed it so you can't kill the balls, so I could probably make this a little faster. But 1 second difference really isn't going to matter in this run because we're going to stay on a 30-second rotation. So I'm going to go ahead and time all of that out, except on the new one. So we're going to start with Witch's Remains, of course, Foresh, and then Losenia, or which will be Usha, and Goom can go and make sure Usha goes, or sorry, Rava. I keep calling Rava Usha. But Rava can go to put down the frost, and then Usha can blast them. So Usha definitely needs to be last. That's for sure. But alright, let's go ahead with our saving. Alright, and there we have it. We have, just like I showed, a same kind of thing, but just pretend that Rava is Losenia as my other team, and we're going to roll with that. And again, equipment plan is all set here. I did decide to leave Witch's Remains, like I mentioned, because I feel like that's a fair, likely expectation of people at the end of a second season. As long as you played very actively and did your summons, you should have a witches by now. If you don't, I get it. It's RNG at the end of the day, but it's just going to mean your damage is a little lower. It's not going to mean you can't do it. It's not going to mean this team is going to fail. You're just not quite going to get the high damage because you're not going to be ignoring as much defense. That's really all it's going to come down to. But it's not necessarily going to make or break being a successful team. It just helps, that's for sure. Crit damage aura here with 24% from Rava is amazing. So that's a really great to have. So I did have very low crit damage on my poor Rava, but at least I had high crit rate. So her aura will help make up for that. But all right. We're going to roll. We have Usha in this spot here. She needs to be in this spot so she actually turns around and attacks the orbs, the balls behind her. Rava's going to be pretty smart with her abilities. Same thing with Goom. But they do hit the boss, but they'll miss one of the balls. You could manual to hit all the balls instead, but I'm going to let it go with missing one and hitting the boss instead. So I think that's going to be okay. But yeah. Let's let this play. Guys, look at that. All right, let me put myself back in this corner. Look at that though, 170.5 million with no legendary heroes, only witches remains. And yeah, 2 rares in the team at that. I think that's pretty darn solid. Really good team. I don't know exactly how much difference it would be with no witches remains, but obviously still well over 100 million. It's awesome. Like, this is a really good team that a lot of people could do. There was no concern of dying, so that's the good part here is Voresh plus Quarion as the only source of healing was good enough. So it's not like I have to bring in a better legendary healer or a Garius and a Gatekeeper staff. I don't even need that. This was enough as it is. Now, to get out more damage, you could... I'm trying to think. This is pretty well balanced because it had decent debuffs, so the stacks of the misfire... Why do I can't... Miss... something. Why did I forget what it's called again? Yeah, that is okay because we've got Voresh and plus the defense penalty. We've got Gum with his attack penalty plus as well the defense penalty, but the small version. So that at least adds a few, but you could try to work in another set of like debuffs, or if you have a different healer that's going to provide you with some debuffs as well. That can be helpful for this fight for the sake of doing more damage, especially if you don't have something like Witch's Remains. Then it's one less debuff you would have, and you'd probably want to do something else that beefs it up. So really cool team for this boss, but yeah, I'm gonna redo mine a little bit and get 200 mil out of this sucker, but... So I did decide to showcase quickly with the adjustments back with Losenia and a couple of those legendary artifacts just to see the difference and see if this could be a full auto 200 million team as expected. So we had a little bit of adjustments to make with some of the timings, so I went and did that first. So we did have Voresh as our Witch's Remains, and then ideally I should have been manualing Losenia and Gum like I've talked about, or like I mentioned in the text. It can make a really big difference in your damage. But for the sake of this, we're just going to auto it. Luckily, Usha does the right things. When you put her in that one spot I showed, she spins around and attacks everybody. But here we go to the end, and yeah, Losenia died a bit early. But you could see 180 plus, and Losenia died early, so if she didn't die so much earlier, even on full auto, this would have been a 200 mil team, so I could have maybe beefed up a little bit of attack by giving some more, more attack, less crit or something to Voresh, or a little bit of adjustments with Quarion, or just a little RNG, honestly. But if I manualed Losenia or Gum, this would have definitely been well over 200 very easily. It's a really strong team and setup. And again, you can do the same thing with Rava like I showed. I just figured I would show you the difference here regarding a little bit more powered up team. And even with the budget teams, and there's a lot of really great epics and rares you can use, you can easily get over 200. Just a quick hint, Vidimir is another amazing budget frost option. And he's kind of a bonkers, so... lots of options for budget-friendly teams to get over 200. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good showcase, and it's nice to see you guys can have some fun playing around. Just to be clear, I do have full alliance bonuses by this point, which again is not a Kraken requirement. It just is an active alliance requirement. So I've definitely seen and heard other people talking about having their alliance bonuses full by this point, even though they're not Krakens or whales by any means themselves. So there we have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this little showcase, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you haven't already, be sure to download Dragonheir Silent Guides now using the link in the description or the pinned comment. It's available on Android, iOS, Mac, PC, Steam, and Epic Games.